What's going on, my friends? Welcome. Welcome, all my friends, to Friday Night Live. I hope that you are all doing well. Let me know that everyone is good, everyone is safe, and that everyone is ready for what we're going to discuss tonight. And so we have had an amazing week. And this is what we have earned. We deserve this. We've been rising and grinding, and here we are. Here we are, ready to have a good time. And so check on in. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know what you engaging with tonight. Let me know what's in your glass. Let me know what's in your ashtray. And so we're gonna have us a good time. Hello, my brother from Bermuda. And so grew up in the Bahamas. Dad's from the Bahamas, mom's from Jamaica. And so what's up to the Caribbean, to the brethren, to the sistren? What's going on, everybody? And so we're gonna have us a good time. As you saw in the name of the show on tonight. As you saw in the name on the show, that we're going to be looking at five whiskeys. We're going to be looking at 5 cigars. And we're going to be just having us some good conversation. And so just give me a second. I'm really just trying to catch my breath. Been running and gunning all day. And so I'm glad to be here with you all tonight. And so let me go ahead and get myself together. I got me tonight. I got this Oliva Master Blend 3. I really love this stick. As you know, Oliva used to be one of my most favorite cigars. Oliva, I said it here, Oliva. Oliva was my most favorite cigar company. Before that, it was Arturo Fuente. And before that, and now it's Foundation. In fact, next week I'm releasing a video where I'm going to share with you all what is my most favorite Cuban, because that's changed. Everything is always changing. And so that's going to be a big focus of discussion on tonight. I'm going to be talking about change. I'm talking about what that all means. I'm going to be talking about change. And so we got brothers from New Jersey. We got brothers from Cincinnati. We are well represented. We got Auto Dreams. Auto Dreams is smoking an AJ cigar. And I'm sure that cigar is going to give you a very pleasant evening, my friend. The best cigar for you is the one that you have. And so I know you're going to have a good time with that cigar, with the AJ Fernandez New World. But as for me, I've got me my Oliva Series 3 Master Blend 3. Oliva Master Blend 3. Brother Matt Bailey he's got some good Padron 50 with some 1792. That is going to make for a very enjoyable evening for you, sir. I'm glad you've got that. And so, let's just dive into this conversation. Tonight, what I want to talk about is change. And so I just put out a video on that. In fact, as we chat, let me get something in my glass. And so tonight I got my cigar, and then I'm gonna be sipping on some old Overholt. This is a 10-year. And so this is a nice spicy rye. And so I chose this because I got a Nicaragua cigar. And so I needed something with some flavor to pair well with this. And so I got this Old Overholt. Again, this is a 10-year rye. This is cask strength. And so it's 121 proof. And so I got something in the glass tonight. And so we're going to have some good conversation as we talk about change. So I put out a video this week, and you saw the other videos that we put out this week. And so we discussed them on Thursday. And so Thursday is that's just a quick check-in, quick timeout. We are working so hard. We deserve a moment just to chill, just to relax. And so that's what Thursdays are. And so the main show is tonight. The main show is these Friday night shows. And so we got a packed show for you. We're not going to just be rambling on, but we got some good conversations to have with you tonight. And so we are rising and grinding. You saw how that band, and one of the things you're going to notice about me, all my bands just slide right off because all my cigars, they've all been aging for some time. And so my bands just slide right off. What we're going to be talking about tonight is I want to kick off the conversation talking about change. Change is definitely needed. And when I think about my own life, my own journey, as you look at me, and so many of you have noted this, and I appreciate your observation. I've changed. And so Johnny OCD's got Atabey Black, Placencia, or Byron. You know what? Go for the most expensive one. Whatever one costs the most, then that's the one you ought to smoke. So go for it. Change. And so I've changed in every which way imaginable over the past 6 months. And so many of you look at me and you can even see it. I dropped 30 pounds. 30 pounds. Just by changing my diet, changing my workout, just changing my drinking, changing my smoking, changing everything. I changed the time that I eat. I've always been athletic. So I was a Marine. I played basketball in high school. But life, I let myself go. And so I made the changes that I needed to get myself back to myself. And I dropped 30 pounds along the way. And so I've changed physically. And for me, I can really see this. A lot of people can't see their change because you're looking in the mirror every day and you can't see slow change. You can't see when you are steadily and slowly changing. But for me, I'm doing videos, and so I can always just look at a video and then be able to see that, wow, wait a minute, you look different. Your shoulders seem more closer together. And of course, you say very kind words. And that's the work that I put in. I saw the direction that I was going in. I turned 45, and I said, no, I got to fix this. And so I made the change. I changed my diet. I reduced my red meat intake. I stopped drinking so much. I made all the changes that were needed. And it makes me feel a lot better. When I walk into rooms, I feel more confident. And yes, fellas, my libido has increased tremendously. Because once you make the change in your life, my body just feels different. It feels like my body isn't always processing food, but I feel lighter and energetic. And that's why, yes, I work a full-time job. I'm a pastor. I'm doing this. But I'm always filled with energy. The way I used to feel after I drink a Red Bull is how I feel all the time. I'm filled with energy. And so that's why the channel is now going in this new direction, because I got the energy. I could do a live every night. I'm just packed and filled with energy. Come 8, 9 o'clock at night, where I'd normally be tired, I'm working out. And so because I made the change in my body, I'm filled with energy. And so we're going to continue to talk about change. And so there's physical change a person ought to make. There's also been some major, as many of you know, I've been working on my PhD. And so I've come to the conclusion of that. I finished my dissertation. And so the next step is to simply go and defend my PhD. And that might sound casual. Well, less than 1% of people have a PhD. But here's what's really remarkable about that. I almost flunked out of high school. And here's what I found out. I found this out about 5 years ago when I went and got my eyes checked. My entire life, I've had an eye condition. And so my entire life, when I read, the words would bounce and I would get a headache. And I thought this was normal because it's the only reality that I ever knew. And so every time I would read, the words would bounce and I would get this headache. And 5 years ago, I went and got checked out and I got glasses. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because what changed for me is even the way I see the world. My vision has changed. And if you know anything about vision, you know that what vision is light rays coming into your retina and your cornea, and then your brain takes those light rays and inverts it and sends it back to you, and that's what you see as vision. And so what you see is really just a manipulation of light rays on your brain. And the reason why I'm sharing that is for me as a child, I struggled because whenever I would read, the way that my eyes worked, I couldn't make sense of what I was seeing. And so I struggled in some regards, but in other regards, it actually made my brain think different. Because I knew I could only read something one time because I would then get a headache, I learned how to read and process and retain information at an unusual rate. In fact, I remember as a kid, all the kids in my school, we had to do this contest. We had to see who can do the multiplication, and you had 100 questions, and who can do the most in 2 minutes. And most kids did 20 or 30 or 40. I did about 60. Everyone was blown away. That means it took me 2 seconds to see a problem, analyze it, come up with the answer, and write it down. 2 seconds for 60 questions. And so you would have figured that someone would have said, hey, this kid's got a brain on him. But because I didn't have the right vision, I couldn't read because the words bounced and I would get headaches. And so I never really applied myself in school. But I kept pushing at it and pushing at it and pushing at it. And here we are 40 years later. I just finished a PhD program. And I mention this is because I had to get some glasses so I can see. Because the way I thought the world was, it wasn't. And so that's one of the things I try to bring to the channel is to show people that, look, the way you might have thought it was, sometimes we just need a little bit more light so we can see what was really going on. Sometimes we need a little bit more light. And sometimes when you've been in darkness for so long and somebody shows some light on you, it's scary. But sometimes you just got to make that change for the better. And so for me, I'm really stressing this change thing because I changed physically. I changed from a mental standpoint. And the next thing I'll share with you all is that, and I said this in the last video, that yes, I've been working for the same company, a Fortune 10 company, senior manager, 17 years now. And I'm going to be changing that. Why? Because I want more. Sure, I should be happy. Yeah, I'm a manager, a supervisor. Yeah. I'm trying to become a director, a VP of a major corporation. That's the change that I'm looking to bring in my life, because my entire life, I always knew my potential, but I knew my problems. And so I made the changes, getting glasses, getting my mind right. And now it's time to take my life to that next level. Okay. Let's see. Brother Aromatic says, for someone who is a preacher, for the people, you only really talk about yourself and how important you are. And I'm using myself to try to help someone else, because this is a conversation. So what I'm trying to show you is to say, hey, change is possible. The weight that the brothers are carrying that I used to carry, I was 215. I'm 5'8". You can drop that weight. The struggles I had in school, getting F's in ninth grade, failing biology, failing mathematics, you can fix that by getting the change that you need. Aromatics, no, don't worry about it. He said, sorry for not trying to be mean, but I'm going to answer the question because I'm here for the people. That's the only thing I'm here for the people. And what I'm simply trying to do is show my life. And so, yeah, I'm talking about, sure, I'm a corporate worker. I grew up in a neighborhood where my brother was shot and killed. My other brother's in jail doing 4 life sentences. I'm from a place where you don't make it to become a corporate executive. But I made the changes in my life. And so, yes, am I talking about myself? If that's going to help you, if I can say, hey, I almost failed high school and now I'm getting a PhD. If that's going to help somebody, then yeah, I'm a pastor. That's why I'm still a pastor, because I want to give back to the people. I've got a member. She's 108 years old. And one of the things she shares with me all the time, she says, I've been coming to church my whole life, and you're able to share with me things I never knew. She's 108. And so I'm here for the people. And however I can communicate the information, however I can speak to you, I'm going to do it, because I'm here to help us. I'm here to help the people. And so I thank you all for your engagement. And I see someone say, and yes, and just so the people understand this, look, yeah, I've been a preacher for about 10 years now. And so I know there's a thing that's called trolling and yes, and let me clear this up so that everyone could understand what it is that I do. I take the energy and use it to carry out the purpose. And so I know I have very good discernment. I know, listen, to the people out there, my job is to work with the people. And so I know who's with us and who ain't really with us. I know who the trolls are. I know who the what's it called, the hate watchers are. I'm very I've got discernment. And I use it for my benefit, because that's what drives the algorithm. It's the hate watchers, it's the trolls. And so yes, to my friends out there, I see them, I recognize them, I use their energy. And so it might look like I'm getting thrown off. No, I'm not getting thrown off. I stand publicly and speak all the time, and I'm used to people talking back while I'm speaking, but I use it to really drive home the message. And so don't ever worry about the trolls. The trolls are a good thing, because it shows the reach of this message. you get to a point in life where, and to the content creators that are out there, when every single comment to your video is just a friend saying, good job, good job, good job, that means your reach hasn't really expanded, because it's really just your friends encouraging you. When you get to the point where you now have thousands of views and tens of thousands, that means it's more than your friends. That means it's the public. And that's something that you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready to deal with that. What happens when it ain't just your friends that you're talking to? Again, I'm a preacher, and I can preach at my own church, but what happens when I go preach at somewhere where there's 10 and 20,000 people? And so that's when you know you've reached that next level, when you can deal with the trolls, and you can deal with people who are disagreeing with you, and you can still stay on message. And so we're talking about change. I shared with you how I've changed my body. You can see it. You can literally see it. You can just look at me and you can see the great change in my body. Yes, I've been Reverend Doctor for about 6 years now, but now I'm going to have an additional doctorate degree, a PhD in leadership studies. And that's going to change my life. That's going to change my career. That's going to change generations of my family. I could have not allowed this to happen. I told you, my dad has 3 sons. One's in the jail, one's in the grave, and here I am. But I decided to make the right changes for my life. And so as far as my career, I'm looking to make another change. And most people think I'm crazy because 17 years, I'm in a good spot, but I want more. I'm never satisfied. I'm never settling. When I look at CEOs and VPs, because remember, and you can see the different school gear that I wear. Yeah, I've sat with people who are now running corporations, and no shade to them, but a lot of them aren't as smart as you may think that they are. And so I've been in these spaces where I realize that I can be of a great impact. And so when you see me talking about brands, and I know what I'm really talking about. It's the space that I really operate in. And so when I'm sharing with the people what brands do and how brands may manipulate you through their marketing, I'm not just giving you hot air. And so that's something that I'm looking to change my career, change my body, change my mind. I literally changed the way I see the world. 5 years ago, I couldn't even see. But I had to humble myself, get my eyes checked, and get some glasses, and now I can actually see. Imagine living your whole life, every time you read something, you get a headache. I made the change that was needed. Last change is yes, I'm changing the channel, and you're seeing that. You're seeing the progression of this channel. Now, even looking at this live stream versus the last live stream, I hope that you can see something different, because I'm always pushing. I'm always trying to be better. Again, never settling. We got the People's Cigar YouTuber has made a comment. That's a pretty good. I only stop and point that out because yeah. And let me explain this. The people started calling me the People's Channel, and so that wasn't something that, because the people said something about, he said this is after humbling yourself ? And so there's the I suppose he's being He's trolling. That's the term. He's a grown man on a Friday night, trying to be funny and trying to upset something. And so I wish you well. I don't want to call you sir because I don't think you're a man, because you're not displaying masculine energy. And so I wish you well. I wish you well. As far as the channel and improving the channel, I'm always looking to see what can we do better. And so that's why we're doing the live streams. That's why the content is going to be a little bit more cutting edge. I'm always looking at my lights and my cameras and seeing how do we make things better? How do we improve? So yes, first year we got 5,000 subscribers. Second year about 4,000. I'm trying to get to this year to about 20,000. Why? Because I'm always trying to make the change for the better, trying to improve. Because I'm trying to do something with regards to cigars and whiskey? No. But because I'm trying to have a positive impact on the world. And so we're going to now jump into our discussions on tonight. Wanted to just get us warmed up, just chatting with the people. And that's why I'm here, to chat with the people. Our brother John is also on a PhD journey, so he understands what it's like. He knows, listen, the PhD, it took me about 5 years. And before a PhD, I earned what's called a Master of Divinity. That took about 5 years. And before that, I earned a Master of an MBA, and that took about 3 years. And so John, I applaud you. Keep at it, sir. Brother Johnny enjoys the Master Blend 3, and he asked, what did I get from it? What am I getting from it? And so I did an entire video on this, and I think the video is called Better Than the Best. And I talked about how this cigar, and I talked about how your Oliva Series V Milano usually gets all the praise and the hype. But to me, the big secret is the Master Blend 3 is a little bit better. And so what notes am I getting on this? And so where is this, the Oliva Series V Milano? You got that Sumatra. I've always called that like a smoking a Nestle Twix. Caramel notes, sweet notes. With this, it's darker, but yet still good. And so it's that Nicaraguan tobacco, which I'm not always a big fan of, but this is done well. And so to me, it's like a Milano, but just a little bit deeper, a little bit darker. And so if that's more of a caramel chocolate, this would be more like a dark chocolate, but not like a bitter dark chocolate. And so that's the notes that I'm getting on this. Love this cigar. Love Milano. Love Oliva. Oliva used to be my most favorite cigar company until I changed. And the People's Cigar Tuber, he did ask a question. He said, did I just assume his gender? And so I do want to speak to this, because one of the big emphasis for this channel, I don't just come out and say it, but it is a lot of man talk. And so we're talking about cigars, we're talking about whiskey. Last week we talked about some fragrances. This is a space, I love to say it's for the sisters of the leaf as well. I grew up, I told you about my brothers, but I also got 4 sisters, got 2 daughters. So I'm always mindful to be inclusive of women. But truth be told, this is a space for men. A lot of the content that I'm covering, and that's why I present myself as a married man, a godly man, a hardworking man. This is a space for men. And as I said in the video where I said, this channel isn't for you, there's a lot of men that just don't display masculinity, positive masculinity. And I think we can pick up on this. We can see this. We see it right away. There's a playfulness. There's a femininity to them. There's listen. If a man ain't rocking with something, he just ain't rocking with it. He's just gonna leave it alone. There's something that's going on today, and men are just raised different. Men are more feminine. Back in the days on the court, we all knew the rules. Two guys would pick. You pick your team. You got picked or you didn't get picked. You got picked based on your talent, your ability. You got picked based on that. Back in the days, men hung out in the cigar lounge. Only the men. You couldn't bring all that weird stuff. You had to be something different. Now, because of social media, now we're in a space where anyone can just jump in and feel like they can say anything and do anything because it's just different now. And so yes, terms like trolls and this stuff didn't happen before, because if we were really in a cigar lounge and having conversations and doing this, which is what men used to do, actually hang out and smoke and drink and talk, you didn't have these little weirdos interrupting things. In fact, they wouldn't even walk in a cigar lounge. Back in the days, they wouldn't even walk on the court. And so I'm from a place where the men were just men. And as a shorty, as a little dude, I watched the men. I watched how they act. I watched how they carried themselves. I watched how they got down. That's who raised me. And so when I look and I see what's going on today, there's an over feminization. There's people who, and I know this is going in a weird direction, but yes, there's people who were probably, they weren't raised with men around them. They don't know any better. They don't know how to engage with another man. And so yes, they can only just do weird things. And so this is why, yes, I do make channels and videos saying, hey, you know, this content ain't for you. I say it all the time. But gentlemen, keep in mind that his negativity and his weirdness, he is going to reflect on this. He is going to look in the mirror. He is feeling it. He's not going to express it now. He's like a child throwing a tantrum. He's not going to express it publicly. But internally, he's realizing that, you know what, other men can just sit and vibe and chill, and I can't do that. And brother, you can't do that because you haven't. All right, let's press on. And so what is the focus of the topic tonight? Tonight we are looking at what I call 5 cigars, 5 whiskeys, just some good conversation. And so we'll talk about these items. And then we'll segue likely into some fragrances. And so let's dive into this. And so when I talk about these 5 cigars, what I want to talk about in the midst of all the other cigar talk, I'd like to just add some just something different. What I like to add is what I call the 5 cigars that a man needs. The 5 cigars that a man needs. And what are they? Your everyday cigar, your weekend cigar, your celebration cigar, your unicorn cigar, and your brother-in-law cigar. And so what I want you all to do, in fact, one of the things that's happened to me is I actually lost a light. And so if you're watching and you're thinking that, man, things look a little different. But what I want to do, I want you guys to type in the chat. So let me know those categories, and we'll have some discussions on this. 5 cigars. If you can only pick 5 cigars, these are the categories. Your everyday